What's going on, beautiful people? So throughout 2022, had some absolutely insane builds, some that went massive, like the bowl aquarium, things like that. We also had our first scapes done in the shop as well, not least of which was my biggest tank ever scaped, which was an 8 foot. We all did it team effort, looks amazing. I'm gonna do highlights of sort of all the biggest tanks of 2022, so please enjoy, sit back, get a drink. Popcorn, yeah, if you want, just enjoy it. It's about 7 gallons, I mean, roughly, because it's like flat top and bottom, and I just nearly broke it with my ring, whoops, and I've got fingerprints all over it. Oh, this is the gravel I've got. It's from my driveway, but don't worry, it's not near like anywhere cars are parked, so there's no nasties on it. Now, the reason we want to put this layer in there, because that is going to be the zone that harbours all the beneficial bacteria that will keep the inhabitants of the bowl alive. So that looks great, but if we fill that with water now, that wood will try and float out. So if I can put it down like that, yeah, there we go, like that, perfectly. That's going to lock it down, and now I can glue all those plants to it. Yeah, that's right, glue. It needs to trim back again soon. Wasn't that long ago I did it actually, but yeah, this is a full-on green explosion. I like it, don't get me wrong, but we want to do something different for that new one. And that's why I want to make sure I keep some of this sort of beached area. I think that'll look fantastic. Not too much though, because we still need a lot of plants, remember. So yeah, I'm going to attach those to a rock, the same way we did with the ferns and the Anubias, and that's going to look great in the background there, isn't it? Oh, it's looking so good, but apart from the beached area, that's looking a little bit too perfect, isn't it? We need to add some more detail stones around all the edges now, and for that I've got like an assortment of sort of coarser gravels and finer gravels, a good mix. I'm going to sprinkle those in together. It should add a little bit more detail and realism to the scape. There we go, see, so it's actually matching a little bit more now with the elderly stone and doesn't look so sort of grey. And when we've got the light above it, the proper light, and the water in, it'll look even better still. Right, this hose is directly linked to my tap, and I've got an on-off valve here. So controlling the flow, we want to do this really slowly to start with. Right, obviously I'm going to speed this up, but it's probably going to take me a good 10 minutes to fill this whole thing up. That's a big exaggeration. I'm going to say it's going to take 5 minutes. Okay, we're halfway through the fill. I'm now going to add some dechlorinator. This setup will then be perfect to be able to add our shrimp straight away. And I'm just going to put it in the background area here. To be honest, you're probably not even going to notice it for a while, at least until it's sort of grown a little bit taller. But that's the point, really. I just want it sucking up those nutrients. Okay. But anyway, it's time to add the shrimp in. Here they are, look, in this small little pot. There's about 100 in there. One of them's actually buried as well, meaning it's carrying eggs. Wow, that was a lot of shrimp going in one tank, and there we'll be friends. So yeah, this is brilliant. This is just the start, guys. They should keep multiplying, keep breeding, the plant's going to keep growing. I will put some fish in it at some point, but maybe not until it's a little bit more established. Maybe in a month or so's time, I think it'd be really good to add some fish. They're getting... something a little bit different today, isn't it, Matt?
Yeah.
We're doing something a bit different. Behind us.
Like, this one's the biggest one. It's really cool. I want one of these for my house, but...
Well, you work in the shop.
I know, I've got to find space to put it, though.
You mean you've got to convince...
Yes, yeah, that would be...
the other half that it looks
necessary.
good there. It's fine there.
Yeah.
You have a light on there now. It will just look better, wouldn't it? So we've got the 2 kettles that are lighting up the plant vats either side of this tank. And we're just thinking we might not want something on this side. And we've got the Aqua One's got like a pendanty sort of style.
In the water.
There we go. It's really, it's like an optical illusion. It doesn't let it look level.
Oh, it looks so strange.
It doesn't let you see it. It's probably not level. That'll do though. It looks wrong. Like I say, it's like an optical illusion. They're all quite dark, but then that's gonna, it doesn't matter.
Accentuate with the other colours.
Exactly. Everything's gonna mix in. We've got smaller ones. Okay. I think we even need even bigger ones, but we'll see.
This one's quite chunky.
That's true.
I have got some in a display tank as well, actually.
Oh yeah, we'll steal what we need. It might be the...
We can bring it up the back underneath, but it would be the plug, because the plug's up there.
I do want to make sure that area up there has got lots in, because the flow will actually come forward and lots will get trapped behind if we don't like fill it in.
I like the transition from...
So Matt's found a filter for us.
Yeah.
What one is it?
I've got a 407.
Fluval 407.
Yep, which is off one of our old displays.
Have you made this from several pieces?
I
think it looks cool. It's disguised it, you can't really see where it is. There's a cool little area up there for the fish as well, but as you come down the bottom here, it gets more gentle, so, you know, if they don't want to be hammered by flow, is she it? No. Then they won't be. But this is a cold water setup, so we're going to have cold water fish, aren't we? Well, temperate.
Temperate fish,
not
yes.
cold. People say cold because it's, who knows what temperate means.
Yeah.
Which means we can plant some cold water plants as well. Not many, just a few details.
Just a few.
What did you say we're going for? I know, but I want you to say. Isn't it? You wouldn't fit, look, that bit there, which is the hill stream, looks like a blemish on the rock. There's one as well, right there, really cool. Oh, look, they're moving around. They're absolutely loving this flow as well. Probably see them up this end a lot more. The body shape is perfect for that high flow just going over the top, isn't it? And just, let's just streamline, no, what's it called? No, it is streamlined.
Streamlined, yeah. So they
is that not air?
No, slipstream. That's air.
Goodness, no, yeah. This continuously, because they'll realise there's no threats in the tank.
Yeah, exactly.
Other than us.
Oh, they're coming over to see me now, look. Oh, that looks cool. I like that.
That's wicked. Good job.
Completely out of the water.
He's out of the water.
Look at him.
They're liking the wild though.
I like the flow.
Faster! Faster!
That's mad.
They like that though.
You see those, the hill stream loaches right out in the open all the time, always over the rocks, in the flow, not sort of just hiding anywhere. They are very active and all over the tank. And the Alodia plant at the bottom there is going to grow very fast, so that's going to need regular trimming. We'll probably keep replanting for a bit as well, just to fill out that bottom area and upstream as well, you know, just to fill in those little details. This tank here, this is the tank that I'm going to be using. What an absolute beast of a tank. This one's made by Aquariums for Life, and I'll put all the stats up on the screen of the size of it because I can't remember off the top of my head. Right, it's just a couple of bags of like regular sort of gravel. It's quite dirty. It's going to be like required to be cleaned. They're both different types, but it doesn't matter. There we go, I've got 4 bags. So one bag is definitely not going to be enough there. I'm going to use a couple, but I first of all want to fill in all of this area here with like a different sort of colour that I'm not going to be seeing, because it's like, you know, you can just afford to chuck in a cheap one or any spare stuff you've got. Right, well, I suppose there's no time like the present. Let's start the scape. Okay, I think we're onto something there. I'm loving that. It's not cohesive with the other side at all at the moment. We can try and sort that out as we go, like I said before, but... So like always guys, when you're adding your detail stones, you want to take it above it and just let go gently. And just let it hit the big points of the rocks or the pebbles, whatever, and let it fall where it wants to go. And that's like gives you the most sort of natural look. And then when you get little bits like this here where there's like no stones, that looks a bit unnatural. So you could just edge a little bit in there. And there you go, look at that. So for big flat pieces of rock like that, I use a different tactic. What I like to do is get some glue. Now I used to use the gel glue for this, but I find it's a bit too thick and seeps through the moss. When using moss now, I just use normal super glue, cyanoacrylate super glue, but not the gel form. It's just, I don't think you can hear that, but anyway, it's just the thin stuff. I get little spouty things as well you can buy, stick on the end. Right, that's enough moss for this scape, otherwise I'm going to be forever trimming. Okay, a few hours later and we're done with the initial planting. I say initial planting because we've still got stems to go in the background. Right, it's now the next day. I just quickly want to show you what I walked into this morning, just so you're not completely freaked out if this happens to you. So I've come strolling on in and looking over at the tank, and what is going on with my water? Why is it all brown and murky? There we go, looking great again. So it's time to put a filter in. I'm going to be using this one here. So we've got an absolutely great selection there to start with. We've got all different types of Rotala. We've got HRA, we've got the regular Rotundifolia. I've got Rotala Green as well, which I can actually take from that tank there. So it's now time to put our fish in. Now, the reason I put them down in this tank here is because this whole thing's being broken down soon. It's too low. I don't like it down there. I'm going to build a whole new stand for the whole thing. For the Epistogramma as well in there. Again, that's why I've not bothered with the tanks. I mean, it's just algae. They're all good. Ooh, so I'll collect... Well, I don't know what that noise was. So I've collected up all the fish. Now, it doesn't look like a huge amount in the jar thing ready to go in this massive tank. But, you know, we'll put them in, see how they're looking, and then maybe get some more. Again, you don't want to put too many fish into a new setup, but the bioload of all the ones I've got is going to be like negligible in such a big tank. Okay, here we go. We only really get one shot at this, so hopefully it looks good. In you go, fishies. Woohoo! Loads of them. Oh, Manurite's now stuck. Make sure he lands upright or downright or whatever. Okay, yeah, he's good. Okay, this is the cool bit. This is what I'm interested in. Where are they all going to go? First of all, a lot of them seem to be down this back area here. Oh no, there's loads around this side. Okay, so they've done a lap. They've done a lap against the flow currently. So this is the green Rasboras mainly here. They're not looking sort of fully coloured up. They're going to be a little bit stressed, but look at that. What a shot. What's going on, beautiful people? So in today's video we're going to be doing a really cool setup for my betta fish in this tank here. It's a cube and it is 30 centimeters by 30 centimeters, 1 foot, 1 foot by obviously 1 foot because it's a cube. Yeah, the light is just this really cheap budget, highly adjustable one that I've not put completely straight, but I'll sort that out in a minute. So the first thing I need to do is add in some dirt, and this is like aquatic compost. So first things first, we need to make a nice pile of the soil somewhere near the centre, piling it in. We can like flatten it out in a minute. There we go. The idea is that we need enough for 1 inch coverage where we want the plants to be. So what we're saying here, have I worked that out properly? Is this an inch or am I an idiot? These are great, I use them in all my setups. Now next up, this whole thing needs capping with sand or gravel. Now I'm going with a bit of gravel first, and then I'll cap all of that off on top with sand as well. The soil by 2 inches, so it's like 2-to-1 ratio. 1 inch of the compost and then 2 inches of the sand. Right, there we go. That's a really good base layer to get us going. There we go. Nice little rounded one. I love rounded rocks. Many of you know that. I just think they look great. Bring that light forward a bit as well. That's better. Just experimenting with this little piece behind it. Maybe if I give it a bit more angle. Oh yeah, that's pretty cool, right? Don't want too much though, he says, putting an absolute ton on. There we go, looking good. Now, I always find that tying on the moss ends up looking way better as the tank progresses than just gluing it on. And now we can just slide the whole thing back into the tank, hopefully. Bit of luck. Where was it? About there? Yeah, that's right. Woohoo! Oh, that is looking smart. Slide the light back about there, midway. Yeah, I really like that. Like the other pebbles, like I say, I want to keep it tight. And I'm also adding a little bit more thickness to that layer to plant into here. That looks really good, actually. That looks better than I thought it was going to. Look at that, built up. Lots and lots of space there now to be able to plant plants into without it stirring up that soil underneath. So that's what I wanted to do there, really make sure it was capped. The reason I'm planting this all now, before I fill it with water, is just look at that. See how easily that sits in? With the stem plants, I don't know how they're going to sit. Like this, look, just put it in, and it's already sitting how I expect it to, and the water's in there. Stem plants, they'll flop over, so no, not interested. Oh, we're looking sweet. Now for the next part, I'm going to fill the tank up. I just like planting stems way better when there's water in the tank. Now remember, do this stage so steadily. You do not want to disturb any of the soil that we've got underneath all that sand, because getting that in the water column from the start is just asking for trouble. That's filled up nicely, but now for the main part, which is adding those stems, the plants that are going to grow quickly, but easy to trim. Green's looking good, Limdophylla looking great there, brightening everything up. Now I've got here in my hand a big bunch of rotundifolia with a little weight on it that they're clippings from another tank that I just plonked into another tank, and they've just been growing nicely. There was a whole load of roots, I've snapped them off so they can grow again into the sand here. All I've got to do is plonk this group at the back and we get like an instant impression, so that should be good. And I'm thinking in this middle bit here should work quite well. So they're quite long at the moment, look at that. Way too long. Okay, cool. Pull them back out. Then I'll pull the weight up a little, and literally all I have to do is snap off the bottom of the stems again. Perfect. Bottom of the stems is snapped off, and the roots will grow back from that section. Brilliant, and now we can get some reds in here in the form of Ludwigia palustris. Hopefully we can still see them peeking over the top there. Should be able to. Got another one there. And then a few more just to peek through in this foreground bit. That should look good. Oh yeah, look at that. So it has now been a few days since I set the tank up. I've done a couple of little changes to it, which I think's massively improved the look as well. So the first thing I've done is I added more of those pebbles look into the foreground. They were further back, and by the time I'd actually put the plants in, you couldn't see them anymore. So I brought them right forward and just left a little bit of the sand in the foreground, which is very bright at the moment, but that will dull as time goes by, and like dirt and detritus and things get encrusted in it. And you can also see at the top there I've added some red root floaters. This is going to add a sort of darkened area, a part where the better fish will take refuge in as well. And from the top it looks awesome. Look at how nice those plants look. Yeah, here is my better. He's just been in there, just waiting. He's already made a bubble nest in it at the side. He was fine in there just for a little bit. Lots of cover for him to hide in. He has never had any shrimp in his tank before, so I'm not sure how he's going to do. He may eat them, but hopefully not. So it's now time to put a better fish in. Hopefully he likes it. Come on then. Okay, interesting start. I'm really happy with how he's looking as well. Look at how much he pops in there. That's what I was hoping for, because we've got like that flat sort of greenness and the red. Because he's white, like he really does stand out, doesn't he? Look at those Dumbo fins going crazy. Really confused probably right now. Right, I've collected up a great little mixed bag there. We've got ramshorn snails, we've got all different coloured shrimp as well from dotted around the fish room. We've got a blue, which is kind of looking black there. We've got a cherry red, a yellow, a couple of rillies, and then some clear ones as well. So hopefully they all do all right. We shall soon see. Okay, here they go. Hopefully this all works out good. Oh, come on snails, come on, out you come. One's got an air pocket in it. Right, instantly he's paying attention to that yellow one. What are you gonna do? Are you chilled as I think you are? Yes, you are. Brilliant. Okay, look, there's another shrimp right in front. Definitely can see that. Looks like he's in hunter mode. Uh-oh. Okay, right next to you, there's a rilly there. What are you gonna do? Okay, you can definitely see these things moving around him. What's he doing? What's he doing? Are you chilled? Little go, but not really anything too aggressive, which is awesome. I think we're gonna be all right here. Right, now listen up, because this bit's important if you actually want to try doing this yourself. So you need a few things, and you need to be willing to put in some work if you're going to do a no-filter aquarium. First of all, you need a dechlorinator to make sure that your tap water is safe. Second of all, you need to be willing to do water changes every single day, up to 50%. And that's not going to be difficult, is it, when we've got these small little nano tanks that we're doing them in. The third thing is that you need to have beneficial bacteria on hand as well. What we're doing here is called a fish in cycle. To start with, there's not any beneficial bacteria, or very minimal, in the whole tank. We're adding our own beneficial bacteria while the tank is producing its own from the waste that comes from the better fish, the shrimp and the snails. You want to keep adding this beneficial bacteria for at least a week, and until your testing shows that there's no ammonia and nitrite in the water. For me personally, in the first week I'll be testing the water every single day when I come in and making sure we've got no ammonia or nitrite. Now, given the fact there's such a low bioload on this tank, it's unlikely we're going to get like big spikes, especially if we're keeping up with the points I've just mentioned and adding that beneficial bacteria. But it's just good practice, 50% water out, 50% back in every day for the first week at least. Then after that, it's all down to your testing. You must get yourself a test kit. I like to use the API Master test kit, but there's like strips out there which are cheaper. They're kind of hard to read though, so I like using the Master test kit. Just make sure you keep the stocking very light to begin with. For instance, we've just gone for one betta and a few shrimp, some snails in this tank. If you've got a slightly bigger tank, you might want a small shoal of, say, Endler guppies, something like that. Whatever it is, just don't chuck a huge amount in there. I'm thinking like 5 nano fish, if you wanted a school, would be okay. Some harlequins, some neons, like I say, Endlers, something like that. So if this is something you're interested in, I absolutely recommend you give it a go. Just follow the steps we've done in this video and you should have a successful tank. What's going on, beautiful people? Today we are setting up a predominantly red forest aquarium. And this is the aquarium I'm going to be using. It is 1.5 foot by 1 foot by 1 foot. So 45 centimeters, 32 centimeters by 32 centimeters. You know, it's a decent size for what we're going to be putting in it, which is a better fish. Now this tank actually comes from the Superfish range, and this light here is the one that comes with it. It's like a kit. And to be honest, it's absolutely brilliant. It's basically up there with the sort of the top end in terms of quality. So proper hard, got some good weight to it. I've stuck some electrical tape on the bottom there, you can see, just to block some of the light, because it is very, very bright, especially for the type of tank we're going to be doing. Guess what, guys? We have got a nut in there, because this tank doesn't have any water changes. So if I did do a big water change, it would go like proper, like crystal. It is clear, but there's a bit of a tinge to the water, but I quite like it. It's different, it looks different. So when you step back, look, it looks a little bit different to the others, and I like that. And then of course up here we have aqua soil. At the bottom here, I doubt I'm gonna pick this up, but aqua soil, yeah I can, and then underneath is the soil. So you can see there how the hair grass is rooting down into it, but look at the tank itself. The Amazon sword in the middle doing really well. And then the ruby tetras as well. Really loving this setup. I've added some floating plants and it's just crystal clear. No filter again. It's perfect. It's cool, and it does look cool like that actually if you want to do a scape focused around that. But that's not what I'm going for on this one. Right, so I found this one piece here that could work, like a tree stump. Something like that. I'm gonna have to push it in a little bit, but yeah, I think that's really, really interesting. If I could do another one on this side, just coming out that way, but smaller, it'll give a perspective sense, if you know what I mean. And maybe have some more pieces of wood coming in the foreground at an angle there, if I've got the right pieces. This could possibly work. Put it there for a minute. Do you know what I mean? Just because we've got that big one and then it looks like it's much further in the distance. Maybe a bit more angle on it. It won't stay like this. I'll have to glue like a rock to it, otherwise it will just float up. But yeah, something like that, but maybe a bit chunkier if I can find it. Ah, there we go. I found a second piece. I'm just gonna double it up. Colours are whatever we need. Oh, I just forgot, I've got some crypts here as well. This is Crypt Albeda Brown, which has got some nice reds in it as well, so I'm gonna add those too. So as always guys, all my plants are from Tropica, and these ones have been sat in my plant store for about 3 weeks now, and have been growing, so that's how good it is. If you get a little tank and put a little bit of water in the bottom, stick your plants in, put some plastic film over the top, and they'll just stay and keep growing. That's why I like to get this type, because eventually you get more for your money as well. Nice one, Tropica. How delicate and silly these little fish can be swimming into tight spaces. So there'll be a lot more room for the new one, and it's more rounded, sort of smooth sticks. I've got some sharp ones in there, but this is a no filter tank as well. And look at how brilliant that's all grown. I mean, it doesn't look too brilliant from the top angle, but yeah, it does everywhere else, growing beautifully. But I want to change it up. It's a bit too dense now, and I want to give him a lot more room, to be honest. One of my favourite betta fish I've ever had, this one. So pretty, isn't it? Now his fins aren't as frayed as they first appear, because, let me try and get in there on the zoom. Lots of those sections are actually translucent, but there is some actual fraying as well. So hopefully that will get all sorted in the new tank. It's not going to be like hurting him or anything, but we can get him looking a bit tidier than that. That's the thing with these Dumbo bettas. I mean, big. There you go. You can see how that's translucent there, just on those edge bits. So it can look like it's worse than it is, but it's just the edges. It'll get sorted. Even more than it is now. The Monte Carlo will stop sort of growing upwards at some point and start carpeting all over that sand. Definitely it will, because it's doing it in all my other tanks that have got no filter and are dirted. I'm really looking forward as well to seeing how well these crypts develop. They look gorgeous now, and I'm hoping they stay that way as we move forward in time. But the boost already looks good. If it just continues growing like this, oh hello fella, if it keeps growing like this, then I'm going to be super happy. So the betta seems to be settling in straight away. Look at him, just, it's so good to watch, isn't it? There's something really exciting about when you first put a fish in and then seeing it explore the whole area is just so good. Now, could I put anything else in this tank with the betta? Well, the size is surely big enough, and it's going to depend on what betta you've got if you want to do that. Tell you what, it might be quite nice to actually feed him now. So I'm using the AQUARIAN Complete Nutrition Tropical and Temperate Flake Food. This stuff's brilliant. It's all I ever feed most of my fish, unless they need a specialist food. But he knows, obviously, look, he's already here. Come in, tap, tap, tap. He knows the tapping sound means it's food time, but he's exploring at the moment, so he might not come up. You gonna come up? I'm freaking him out a bit. I was gonna leave some of this in the top here and hopefully he'll come and find it. So eventually he did notice that there was some food there. It must be very distracting being in this brand new environment, but as you can see, yum, 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 yum. Right, so that's another successful tank complete, but it does mean one thing. I've now got a free tank to start again on. What should I put in this tank? What fish should it be, or what type of scape should it be? What do you guys want? Let me know and we'll do it. So today is actually a big day. Today's the day we start the Amazon build in this tank right here. So I set the tank up about 8 months ago, just over 8 months ago now. It's changed a lot since I first said. I mean, surely they would fall out of that, right? Ugh. In you go. So that is the water all drained out. Most of the fish are coming to the front. I need to take out that wood quickly and just make sure nothing's trapped behind on the gravel. It shouldn't be though, because I can't hear anything, but just quickly check. Oh, crikey, this is heavier than I thought. So waterlogged when I put it in, it wasn't. Oh, fish, 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 there we go. Colombian tetra. Oh, gotcha. No, stop going up there. Come down, come down. There you go. Just that one then. Looks like. I just want to make sure that there's no more. Right, so the reason I like to do all of that work first is so that now we've got a base to put things on so that they don't all sort of fall over. If we put rocks and big pieces of wood on just the glass, it's got a tendency to slip. You need about 4 people to hold it in place while you put rocks right now. I haven't got that, haven't got that time, haven't got that many friends.
It should sit with plenty of room for plants.
Oh, we're looking sweet now. Right, it's time for that detail. This is way too clean for me. I do not like clean sand in the foreground. I just think it looks unnatural. I know it is pretty much the done thing to do in aquascaping, but yeah, I like that sort of half aquascaped, half natural look. Do you know what I mean? So tons of detail and not a clean look. So I've also wrapped some pebbles and a little bit of moss as well, look, just to bring some of that mossy goodness. I'll spin that one around. Up into the foreground area. Not too much, again, like I say, because it gets uncontrollable otherwise. And of course, don't forget to keep misting. Okay, first of all, we've got an absolute ton of plants here, all tropica again, as I said before. So we've got Hygrophila polysperma, we've got the Siamensis 53B, one of my favourites, looks so good. It just goes so vibrant and green under sort of any lighting, to be honest. Then we've got Ludwigia palustrus super red. We've got Reineke pink, Altanamphra Reineke pink, Ludwigia Ruben, Ludwigia granulose. Oh, there's so many to choose from. Now, obviously, if you're doing this, you're not going to have this many plants. Let's be honest, are you? I'm a YouTube channel, you know, I make money from my content, therefore I can reinvest it in things like plants. So you'd probably need a third of this, I'd say, and then you can keep trimming and replanting to get a dense look over time, whereas I have the ability, oh, it's a love heart, I've just noticed it's a love heart, oh, that's lovely. Yeah, I have the ability to get it dense from the start, so that's what I'm gonna do for you guys and for myself. Right, there we go, that's a lot of plants prepared. I'll leave a full list in the description for you guys that are interested, but for now we need to get started because it's going to drop. Now, a lot of people are going to be thinking, surely that filter isn't big enough for all those fish. And, well, what I say to that is there was no filter beforehand, was there? So then it really doesn't need it because we've got so many plants. The plants just really are magic. They're cheat codes to fish tanks, basically. So that's why I can go without having these big filter systems, because I've already got it. Now, of course, you can use canister filters, but I'm just a massive fan of these little black internal ones. I just find they're so good, and when the filter floss gets clogged up, it makes a noise which tells me maintenance time. With the canisters, I tend to leave them for like a year. So I just like it this way. I just really like the flow they produce as well. So it's now the next day, and at first glance, it looks like a disaster has hit the tank, but this is just normal. Yeah, there we go, look. Full-on brown tinge to everything. That's just because this wood is brand new, so it's going to leach tannins into the water. We can do a nice big water change and that'll put it right back, and that should keep all of the fish. Now don't worry, the temperature that they were stored in the other tank, that tank there, is the same temperature as the newly set up one. I've tested with a thermometer because obviously I've just filled it up, but I fill the tank up to the correct temperature. I just adjust the taps. So it's all the same. The whole room is heated, so we're all good in that aspect. We can just put them in. Okay, then here we go. All the fish together. No messing. Whoa! Look at that lot. In you go. And the plex. One more in there. Come on, buddy. Out you come. There you go. Okay, every single one of the fish currently is in the foreground area. Colours are looking pretty decent on them, considering the fact they've just been taken out of their sort of comfortable environment that they've just been in for a few days, put straight in here. But trust me, the colours will get even better at the moment. They're a bit sort of worried. Right, next job then is to catch these guys. I don't think it's going to be too difficult. What I'm going to do is lure them in a certain area with some food, get the big net and scoop them hopefully all in one go. It's a lot bigger than their previous tank, but they've not had any mates with them yet. I mean, straight away the colours are looking fantastic. No aggression shown to any of the other fish. Oh, that is so good to see. This corner of my fish room is doing really well apart from one tank. Now for me, when a tank hasn't got fish in it, I tend to just neglect it and let it get overrun, and eventually that causes its demise. And that is... Okay, here's our aqua soil. There's like little bits of gravel and that in it too because I recycled it. I've taken it out of another setup that I'd finished with. Bowl just to catch anything that drips. And then here's the media bag. Look, there you can see it's all meshed. Roots go in it fine. It's got like plastic zipper on it as well. That locks everything in. It doesn't float around your tank then, because even if you cap with sand, aqua soil will work its way up. It just always does in some way. And this stops that happening, which is a godsend for me because there's nothing worse than your scape being ruined by stray bits of aqua soil going all over your nice clean white sand. So now, not too many, but you know, some. The main show of green on this is going to be out of the water. So we want like under the water to stay. Oh, I'm talking rubbish. I'm going to fill it up with plants, aren't I? I'm going to resist the temptation to, okay? Right, I've got a nice little selection here. These are all epiphyte plants, so you can stick them to the rock there. You don't have to plant them. They don't have to go into the substrate. They'll actually pull nutrients from the water column. Now we've got, these are all Tropica plants, by the way, really top quality. Look at them. I mean, it all speaks for itself. I've had these plants in my possession for about 2 months now, to be honest. I keep them down in a little, well, let me show you. So the darker areas are more dark than they would be. This, when it's clear, it's going to look insane. Whilst it's clearing though, I think it's now time to prep the immersed plant, the peace lily. Whoa, we've got loads to choose from. Ah, right here. Yes, they've got loads of them. That's awesome. Really nice little size as well. Perfect. And we've got our little flowers coming at the top. You are the chosen one. Good price as well. So we've got our plant. Now the next thing we need to do is remove all of the soil out of here. Look at these Congo tetras. Male, female there. Absolutely stunning. Look at them. Hang on, let me get a better shot for you. Look, there's the male, all those awesome colours. Females are slightly duller looking, they're bigger as well. I'm just currently trying to get the males up to sight. Anyway, this is another video. But look at the back here. Oh, I just cleaned this one out as well actually. There's not a huge amount, but I don't need many, so I might take just half of that. Will work really well. They regenerate in no time at all. This like exponential growth. Double. And the fish that I'm going to be putting in there is down in this tank. Now the reason I'm moving it out of there is two things. One, this all needs sorting out. I do not like having tanks down here. I've got my pistogramma and this one here. These are the cacatoides. And then we've got this one here. Oh, yes. I absolutely hate having tanks down the bottom here. I'm just trying to sort out some stands, building stuff to move all these up higher, but they're getting neglected, they're getting ignored, and I don't like it. So this bad boy here, look at that. It's really hard to... It's so bright on the camera. Let me just turn it all down a bit so we can get a bit of detail on him. Look at that. So he's a Dumbo white. I don't know the names of all these different kinds of betta fish. All I know is that he's amazing. He's going to look really good in that setup, isn't he? Let's catch him and put him in. He'll like it a lot better because I'll be able to pay more attention. I'll be able to see what's going on. Betta fish, I find that when you're feeding them, you need to see them. What's going on, beautiful people? So this is my new racking system for shrimp that I've set up. At the moment we've only got the one tank here, the shrimp bubbles, but it's time to build another one. So I built the shrimp bubbles, a couple of weeks ago now, and it's doing so good. Plants are growing great. There's no algae in the places we don't want it. We want it on the back walls and everything like that. I've cleaned off the front. And then in all of these tanks we are as well. So the shrimp forest that we've got here, the original playground, doing great as well. This one hasn't got any substrate in, which is interesting because Neocaridina usually you don't want any sort of buffering, so Aquasoil wouldn't be good. Now I went for nothing in this one. It's just got like gravels and things. Now I'm not seeing any babies at all in this one yet. It could just be that none of them are actually ready for babies or things, I don't know. So yeah, I want to do a whole dwarf hairgrass carpet all the way across the bottom with a nice little rock in it, and then you can have usual stuff as well going in there that shrimp love. Right, so usually I wouldn't put a filter in now. I'd put it in like way nearer the end when the water's in there and everything's done basically. But I've got a little nano one here. I want to put it in to make sure that I've got enough space down the side, because I actually want to go taller than that again with the Aquasoil, don't I? So I just need to make sure we've got the height. Look at that, you can barely see where the Aquasoil, well you can see because you know, but if you didn't, would you know? There we go, that's the first piece. Actually, that looks pretty cool, just like that. One rock aquascape. So what I've done there is I've placed that rock at the back to make it look like the whole thing is sort of enclosed like a cave. But if you come round, it's going to be hard to show you, but there isn't actually any closed areas. It's just an illusion. So one of the first things, peel open the lid and there should be a liquid at the bottom. Yeah, there's like, see that there? Drain that off. You don't need that liquid, get rid of it. Now next up, I found the best way is to take it from the underside like that and just break the edge, yeah? And as you do that, you can see that the edge unravels. Then you're left with the two sections like that, and all you've got to do is break off little pieces like that. I like to do a little turn on them, and then you can just plug those little plantlets, or what do we call that? Plugs, I guess. Little plugs of hair grass into the soil. Yeah, there we go. It's subtle. I think you'll see them more when the water is in the tank, which we'll do next. Right, we're looking really good. Look at the purling at the back there on the Hydrocotyle Japan. There we go, we've got a decent amount of flow there. It's actually exactly the same as the smaller one. It's all the same unit, it's just got a longer section underneath. So yeah, that'll be absolutely fine for the shrimp. At the moment, it looks like it's blowing a lot, but once the bubbles are cleared, look, I mean, that stuff isn't really floating around that hard, is it at all? So yeah, happy with the flow. Now I just need all the bubbles to go away so it can look nice and pretty. So it's now the next day, and now we can actually see what we're properly working with, and I really like it. It's crazy simple, isn't it? But shrimp tanks most of the time should be relatively, you know, sort of simple with some kind of focal point. That's how I do it anyway. So on this side as well, I'm going to put a feeding tube. It needs to go in that section. And then we will also add some botanicals. They're just really good for the shrimp to be able to graze on. They create more biofilm, that sort of thing. Okay, looking good. Looking like a shrimp tank with a big pile of rocks in it. Anyway, the next thing to put in is these. They're shrimp minerals. Now I know we've got the cereal stone in there already, but I just want to make sure, just put a few of these in. You're gonna have to put them in water first and they start fizzing. Like, let me show you. So you take your rocks, basically calcium rocks, you put them in. Oh, that splashed. And if you wait, look. Okay, so you see how they're all fizzing and bubbling away? I'll leave it about 15 minutes or so. I'll come back and they should have stopped. So another thing that all of my shrimp tanks have is botanicals. Now they're really good for the tank and the shrimp. The problem is I don't have any new ones because I recently set up a blackwater aquarium. I'll show you that in a second, but I used way too many. Yeah. This is what I'm talking about. So, I mean, the fish seem to absolutely love it, and the behaviour of the... Now, let me turn the lights off. There we go, that's sort of a bit better. So let me step back. It's so murky, isn't it? Now, I put a lot of leaves and botanicals down in this bottom section here. Look how good the fish look. They seem to really, really enjoy the environment. So I'm going to just pinch a few out. I only need a couple anyway, so it's not like I'm going to be changing the whole thing. Right, there we go. We've got a nice little selection there, look. I don't want too many, you see. Now, normally I take the big ones and put a rock on them so they don't get like pushed around in the flow. But this one's already sinking, so hopefully it just locks in the place I want it to. If it doesn't, I can just like glue a pebble to it, a little one. That went well. I sort of used the catappa bark there to hold down the catappa leaf because it started to sort of blow around. The small catappa leaves over there stayed put, and so are the elder cones in the middle there. They look really cute, didn't they? Right at the entrance to the cave. And also, down here, look, the mineral rocks, they've stopped fizzing, so they can go in now as well. So that is the tank all set up and now ready to go. We can put the shrimp in. I'm so excited. Now we've got two kinds of shrimp in these bowls. I've got blue dreams in here and I've got like really good reds in this side. You can see a couple of them there and there. Now I can't actually remember how many I bought, if it was 5 of each or 10 of each. So I'm just going to take everything out and see what we've got in there. Right, so I've just had a count up. We've got 10 of the reds. Look at that. So the females are proper red. The males, not so much, but then that's what you expect from the males. See, there's a male right in the center, and then there's the female right there. And then in here, we've got lots of really nice blues. Now, I'm going to save the blues for like a sand setup that I want to do in the future, and we're going to use the reds this time. And one thing that I found really rewarding, guys, is to go with a lower number. So go with 10 shrimp, and then when you start seeing, like, you know, adults like that one there with loads of eggs underneath it, you become way more excited. I used to just pack out the tank with tons and tons of shrimp, but you lose that sort of fun if you do that. You want to see your colony progress. To do that, I always find 10 is a good number to start with, if they're adults, that is, anyway. So yeah, just a simple case now of transferring them over. This room is heated, so all the water is the same temperature. Now, neocardinas aren't too sensitive to water parameter change. It's all going to be very similar, so we're all okay just to go straight in. Oh, there we go. Look, how awesome is that? I knew it. I knew that the shrimp would stand up so brightly against the stone and the grass as well, and the substrate, to be honest. Nice little collection right there, look, of ram's horn snails. So for those of you that don't know, I keep ram's horn snails in all of my shrimp tanks. So like even next to it, look, in the shrimp bubbles, there's some there. They're just absolutely brilliant. I've found that I've had way more success when I've kept the snails and the shrimp together, because any uneaten food or even shrimp waste and things like that, it's just getting moved around a lot more, and anything the shrimp don't eat, the snails will. So it's just brilliant. They just go together like, well, what goes together? Peas in a pod? Yeah, we'll go with peas in a pod for this one. I'm already loving though how this has turned out. Shrimp seem right at home. None of them seem shocked by this. They're all good. They're moving around nicely. Colours are still there. Oh, brilliant. Now, what about cycling of the tank, I hear you guys say? Well, the thing is, neocardinas are really low sort of bioload is what I'm trying to say. They don't produce a lot of waste. So what I'll be doing is every day I'll just do a 50% water change, and I'll be adding beneficial bacteria, and that will cycle the tank. I always do it like this with fish as well. As long as you're willing to put the work in and do the water changes every day, it's all completely safe, because toxin levels never get high enough to be of any detriment to the animals that you've got in a tank. In this video, I'm going to be building a tank that I've wanted to do for quite a long time, and I've been planning it for quite a while as well. This right here is a Corydoras catfish, and so is this one. So are these. Not that, that's a bristlenose pleco. As is this one, and this one here. Again, not that, that's a Siamese algae-eater. And as are these, oh, running away, bye-bye. Right, there we go, that's what I'm talking about. Down the bottom here, like, I've left a shelf. That's all pinned in, so I can put like a 60cm tank that'll sit nicely in that recess for, I don't know, like a quarantine or a plant grow out, something like that. Okay, so that's pretty ugly, so the next job is to paint everything black. Black makes anything look good. Oh, it's like unwrapping a present on Christmas Day. There we go, there it is. It's not huge, it's not small either, is it? I mean, for a big collection of Cories in there, we've got loads and loads of space. Next, I want to get a light fitted just so we can sort of see it better. Oh, come on, that is looking great, right? So remember, this is all very, very cheap stuff. This is a generic glass tank, like, it's from China, it's well made, it's not up there with the ADA quality, don't get me wrong, and the silicone work isn't perfect, but the glass is super, super clear, and I just love it. I think they're so good. I also want to change the background. I want to put a black background on. Most people get the film, I just paint it. It's easy, I'll use the same paint that I use for the stand as well, because it works really well. So there we have it, the stage is set. This is such an exciting point for me. Oh, and just in case you're wondering what's going on with that rock, I just put it there so that when the water falls in, it didn't disturb all the sand. I'll just take it out in a sec. Right, there we go. We've got some great plants there. We've got Rotala macrandra, Rotala rotundifolia, Rotala hatra. Whoa, look at the size of that. Oh, there he is. Oh. Okay, hello Matthew. How many? We've just been chatting. I'm making out like we've just... yeah, so I just messaged Matt saying, have we got what I need? Well, not need, but like, the majority of people have commented on my, yeah, no one needs these. On my social media, on my Instagram and all that, everyone was like, we've got to get the pygmy cories. Yeah. I wanted them anyway. I was going to do it, but... Here we go, it's time for us to release our first cories. Here come the pygmies. Yes! They're so cute. I needed to take out all the plants, everything. Got most of them in there. I think there's probably a couple more of the baby bronze cories in there, which I'll sort of pick out as I see them, but it's got so murky. Go, my buddies. Oh my god, they look so good. That is awesome. Yeah, I don't know why, but for some reason I thought it might look overcrowded in there. It really, really doesn't. There's plenty room for more. Oh, look at them. They look great. There's a stir-by one right at the back. Oh, it's just gone around. I definitely want to get more of the stir-bys. But look, you can really see how tiny the pygmies are now, look, in comparison. Today we are scaping this, aren't we, Matt?
Yes. Yeah. What more do you want?
Let's just talk about the tank quickly before we...
Yeah?
Actually, well, not quickly. I mean, it's a built-in system, so...
Yeah.
So first thing I want to do... Oh, check audio. Yeah, we're good.
That's the first thing we want to do.
So first thing I want to do is get a sort of hardscape down in this one, get some shape. We decided we're going to use dragonstone, didn't we, Matt?
Yeah, I think that'll look good. Yeah, I think dragonstone, it gives hiding spaces for the babies as well.
Yes, yes, and it automatically scapes itself.
Yeah.
You just chuck it in. No, that wasn't me. I saw that bucket of dragonstone there, thinking that you put that there for us.
No, I didn't.
So that's not our dragonstone.
No, we've got more dragonstone over here.
Oh, good.
Yeah, let's go and get more dragonstone. So are we thinking big bits? That is a massive piece, and I might have hidden that at the back for me. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
I think in that sort of colour, that could work, Matt.
Yeah, some Mopani, because it's different tones, so there's some cool bits of that.
This is too straight, really.
Yeah, that's more of a sort of foresty vibe. You've got to cut
That's quite good.
Yeah, that's a bit of Mopani, actually, so
Yeah.
that might work.
So the Mopani's #1 choice for me so far.
Yeah.
I like these, but they're too big, way too big.
A bit monstrous. We've got, obviously, our standard Corbo on there.
Corbo, we've got normal drift.
Yeah. And then honeycomb at that end. I think the honeycomb would look too much like the dragonstone.
Yeah, it's too straight.
And it's got the same texture.
No, I think we go for the Corbo.
Yeah. Corbo?
No, what was it called?
Mopani.
Mopani, that's it. All these names, to me it's just wood.
Yeah, wood. That pretty bit there.
Okay, grab those curly bits.
Yeah.
Well, I think we need about 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And varying sizes, and we'll work it out when we're over there.
Cool.
So Matt's messing around with the Mopani wood.
Yeah, Mopani, yeah.
It looks cool. Oh! It looks quite like a reindeer there. They look like a reindeer.
Yeah, it's great. Did you want to see a couple of the specialist ones as well?
Oh yes, you got some snowflake, is it?
Snow White, I think.
Snow White,
guppies,
that's it. Yeah, sorry. I don't know what snowflake is.
Yeah. They're really hard to pick up on camera because they're so bright.
I have to turn the ISO right
Yeah,
down.
they're
But
like, I tried to get some photos
So
of
there's
them
a
the other
male.
week.
Males and females, and the females have even got the sort of metallic-y blue
Yeah, like
and
a blue
whiteness.
fork tail to them too. They're really cool.
Those are good.
So they're Snow Whites, and then we've got some tuxedos on the, not tuxedos, sorry, some kahakus on the bottom. So they've got the
Very
red
nice.
nose.
Very nice.
I think we've got males and females. Yeah, we've got males and females of them. So they'll be cool. We've got some Japan lyra tails. So they're the blue fork tails.
Blue fox. But they look like a standard Endler with blue. There's so many mixes now, though, isn't
Oh,
there?
yeah, you just crossbreed all the different colours and you end up with that. That might be all of them, to be
No, there's
fair.
Martin, show me some more down here.
Oh, Snow Whites, yeah, more Snow
More
Whites.
Snow Whites, and then these are the.
These are the purple queens.
I like the
I
look
think
at
they're all
those.
males, maybe.
Looks to be males.
Purple queens, but they're all kings, so that's fine.
Purple keys.
But we
some
can
of
always,
those, though, they're cool.
Yeah,
They
we
are
can always
cool.
add a male or two in because that will just give it a different coloration.
I do love a black fish. Like I love.
And there's
black
a guard.
milk.
The pump at the far end has a guard on it anyway, so
Okay.
they're not going to be able to get into the pump. So we just have to net them out the back chamber every now and again. They're all
they're
up
all
the
up
left-hand end. Yeah.
Right, let's add in the final trios. So we've got our final batch, Matt. That is trios of rare, like rare.
Yeah, rarer. Yeah,
More rare, yeah.
definitely
More
specialist.
expensive because
Oh,
they're
yeah.
specialist, of course.
Yeah.
And you sell them in trios, don't you? So that it's for people that are interested in breeding the
Yeah.
more specialist breeds.
Yeah, some people will breed them specifically. Some people just mix them into their groups like we're doing here. It just really depends on what you like.
That's what I would do.
The nice thing is there's Snow Whites, there's Blues, there's Purple Queens, there's Kahakus, there's literally,
That's a good shot.
yeah, all sorts of different colorations, which is really cool.
In we go. Look, all the other fish are waiting. They're like something's coming. In go the rare breeds. Breeds?
Yeah, rare breeds, rare
Special
types.
Look at that. Now, most of the time, guppies do like the top part of the water column.
Yeah.
Just going into the back. Plus, remember, the guys in the shop know what they're doing. They'll do testing every day with this initial setup just to make sure the parameters are good. The tank is more than capable of the bioload of the guppies. In about a week's time or so, probably start getting some diatoms and some algae forming on some of the rocks and wood. At this point, it's time to put in a couple of bristlenose plecos, a few amano shrimp. They'll get that all sorted in no time, and the tank will just continue to grow and look awesome. One of the best things about every single plant that we put in here is that it grows and it's easy to propagate. So moss, you can just trim it and re-stick it again. Anubias grows out from the rhizome, you can cut it in half, stick it to some more rock, move it about. Stems, cut them wherever, stick them down in the substrate or even in the gravel later on because that'll be full of waste from the fish, adding nutrient value to it. They'll just keep going in there as well. Literally cannot lose with this tank. So that's the end of the video, guys. Hope you've enjoyed this one. I've enjoyed it because this has been one of those that, like, when you're building it, everything went right, and didn't it? Like,
Yeah,
there was
it just
no
all
hiccups.
slotted together, all the
Looks
rocks went
great.
together. Yeah, it was brilliant.
Yeah, not really much more else to say.
No, it looks good, and I can't wait to watch them all grow in.
I'll
and
do an
breed.
update. I will do an update.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Because once these stems all go everywhere, wow, and we can even start moving some down the bottom to the sides as well.
Yeah.
Like, there's quite a lot of stems in that one area.
Yeah,
So,
they're going to grow up really well. So yeah, you can poke them into the different gaps. So that'll be cool.
Look at this guy.
Yeah, he's just chilling out on his own.
Anyway, yeah, catch you again. So this is a compilation video of all the work that we put into the 8-foot African river tank behind me there. We've been doing it for like, what, two months? 2.5 months now. Keep messing this up. But yeah, sit back, get some popcorn maybe. Popcorn?
Nice, yeah, nice bit of popcorn.
A nice drink, a beverage, maybe a beer or something like that.
Other soft drinks as well are available.
Are they?
Yeah.
You've never once offered me a soft drink whilst I've been...
No, it's a valid point.
So yeah, sit back and enjoy the movie, I suppose. Right, I'm not going to lie. I'm pretty excited right now. I'm pretty excited right now.
Only 26 minutes late.
Yeah, that's good for me.
Yeah, we'll let you off that one.
I'm such a timekeeper.
I know.
Looks good though.
It's a good bit.
Wow. Okay, let's just stick. Let's place it in the tank and see.
Look at the purple.
I'm thinking. Yeah, oh yeah. It's kind of purpley brown.
It's hair algae
Ah.
that's dyed back.
Oh, you mean that?
Yeah, the really purple bits.
Yeah, we'll keep that for authenticity purposes. So it might be too big, but it might not. If we put it in that left-hand corner, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like without any rock to start with, so it's lower down, could work. Or we might be overdoing it with wood, but there's only one way to find out.
Relatively.
Which way's the cut back? Oh.
So it's got to sit
It's, yeah,
like that.
it's massive, isn't it?
It's huge. You want to try it or not?
It's going to take up. It's going to take up too much space
I think so.
because we need the flow coming from the corners. I don't want to completely like overtake the whole tank with just one bit of wood. That light, Matt.
Yeah, just dropping it down a little bit so it's not as blinding for us.
And we brought the water down this level. We could have gone further, but to be honest, we can just do the little trick of attaching a Nubius to small pieces of rock and then just placing them where we need them. Big pieces we can just latch into stuff, can't we? But
Yeah,
we've
it'll
got
make
plenty
life
of glue. I came in this morning, I was like, Matt, have you got any glue? And he just threw this at me. We've got plenty of glue. We've
You
got
can have the second one as well if you need
oh,
it.
there's a second pot.
Just in case.
Sweet, yeah, we're definitely covered for glue. So now we need to fill out this table with all the plants we're going to use so they're just easy to get to, plus we can see what we're working with. Bucket, we need buckets. All right, we're going to get plants. Oh my goodness, we are proper behind the scenes. Let me step back. So that's like the system. This is the sump that goes down, but it also houses a load of fish that have made their way down there over the year. Whoa, look at the size of that. That's going to look so good in the tank, isn't it, Matt?
Yeah, that's going to be a cool one.
Oh, have you got more of that?
No.
Well, I mean, it will spread, but...
Yeah, it's a really hard one to get hold of. We've only been able to buy in the crinkle leaf one.
Yeah, okay. So you just have to cut them off, don't
Pretty
you?
much, yeah. You can. Some people say to cut them off at the base. Some people say to cut them off where you want them, because new ones will then come through. But
It won't kill the leaf further down by cutting them higher up, will it?
so it depends who you listen to. Some people I think it might be how you cut it. Sometimes it damages the leaf enough to kill off the leaf. Other times it just sort of the leaf stays there until new ones come through.
Well, there's been enough of us talking and waffling on, so I'll be quiet now and you can just enjoy the video.